So a second fight for David Price under his now not-so-new trainer Dave Caldwell, up against Ivica Perkovic. 52 fights, 22 wins and 30 defeats. Price, of course, still rebuilding after that knockout against Erkan Tepe. Tepe did subsequently test positive, but it was still a shattering defeat, really. They've been working on a couple of things over the last few months. One is the jab. He's had an operation on his elbow to try and get rid of pain he's been feeling when he snaps out that jab ever since his amateur days, really. He says as a pro, the last time he was able to jab pain-free was Sam Sexton when he picked up those vacant British and Commonwealth belts. And they've also put some serious weight on him, lads, as well. They've put nearly 2 stone on him since that fight against Tepe. In his career up until that point, he'd been generally 250 pounds. He's 278 tonight. They felt he was too skinny for somebody of his height.
Yeah, well, I suppose it depends. It's good to put weight on it if it's an advantage, but he certainly doesn't want to lose his speed or get too static. Good to see him showing some good head movement here tonight. I mean, I think that's something that he's probably working on with his new coach, Dave Caldwell, as well, because obviously he's got it all his own way here. There's not much coming back at him, but he is moving his head and he is feinting, so it's good to see those improvements. So it's good to see him working on the improvements they're trying to make in the gym. But yeah, I think this is very much about him building momentum, getting some ring time, and looking for a big fight towards the end of the year.
It was a big blow with defeated Tepe. Nice left hand there from Price, and he goes down to a knee there, Perkovic. Cannoned into the ropes. He's back on his feet now. The referee just completing the count up to 8. Price back in a neutral corner. It was a good, solid shot. Didn't catch him absolutely clean, but heavy enough.
Yeah, heavy enough. Caused the knockdown. Left legs went slightly. But he was good to land he was looking to land the right uppercut, left hook combination. Uppercut's a good choice of a punch with the shorter guy, kind of trying to walk forward. You can walk him onto the right uppercut, which he did there, and then obviously finish that combination up with a good left hook, which certainly registered and caused the knockdown.
Well, since he's been back, Price, I've been impressed with his punching range and his ability to land clean shots as a heavyweight. I mean, we talked about earlier there about him putting 2 stone on. And you know, the 2 stone hasn't really affected his speed, which is a good thing, because that's what you worry about as a heavyweight. There is room to put 2 stone on, but you know, it's a lot of weight. But he is a big lad, Price, and you can see the size of him. I mean, he is real gigantic man, and he's a man mounted. You can see the size of him here, but he's still got them fast hands. He's got a good jab. He's got a good right hand to the body, and he landed a lovely uppercut a few seconds ago. And he's just having it all his own way with the opponents he's in with at the minute, so it's hard to gauge how good he is and how he's building up back since them defeats and them lack of confidence. But he seems to have his confidence back under David Caldwell. Seems to be doing everything right. And these fights here really are just tune-up fights and fights where he can just relax and enjoy himself and get his confidence back up. I'm quite impressed here with that opening round, and that uppercut was on the points and very impressive.
Well, Dave Caldwell just jumping up into the ring. He's had a change of attitude, he says, David Price, in recent times as well. He said that he used to put himself under a lot of pressure. There was a big weight of expectation on him, particularly after he picked up those British and Commonwealth titles, but there was a knockdown.
Yeah, that was the right, walked him onto the right uppercut, left hook combination that caused the knockdown. Like you say, Andy, I think with David Price, the biggest thing is his head. You know, the psychological effect of those losses. You know, he's a man mountain. He literally knock out a horse if he hits it. He hits that hard. But I think with him, sometimes he builds things up in his head too much, puts too much pressure on himself. You know, and it's very draining, and he burns up a lot of nervous energy. So I think it's very important for him to relax. You know, this fight tonight isn't going to tell us much about what he's improved on in the gym, but it's ring time. It'll help him get his confidence back and it builds momentum in his career.
Second out.
Into the second round. He'll be looking to get back out again, Price, as quickly as he can, really. I think they were hoping that he might get a fight in before now. It's been 4 months since his last one. He took a good time out after the defeat against Tepe, switched off from boxing for a while, just needed to rediscover whether he really wanted it, but he felt the improvements in the gym. He felt the excitement coming back at the prospect of getting back in the ring, which is absolutely vital. That must be there, or really continuing is ultimately fairly futile. Price just holding out that left hand again. That big right is always going to be a weapon. He just came wading in with a kind of lead left hand there, Perkovic, which made some kind of a glancing blow, but nothing serious.
Yeah, picking up from where you left off there, Andy, talking about David and his new approach, his new trainer. I think he's gone to a good place in Dave Caldwell. It's a thriving gym. Success breeds success. Tony Bellew is really on a crest of a wave at the minute. You know, he's that great win he had. He's fighting again next week, or in a couple of weeks, sorry. You've got both McDonald brothers there. You know, it really is an up-and-coming gym. Dave Cole's a real up-and-coming young trainer in the fight game, and I think that he's found a good home for himself, and I think he's working on things with Dave. I think, you know, technically and tactically, but I think also it's about getting his confidence up, getting his head in the right place, and you know, I don't think that tonight's opponent's going to tell us tell us too much about David Price, but it's about ring time. It's about getting his confidence up, shaking some rust, and you know, so far he's boxing well. He's setting his shots up behind the jab. He's giving us some feints. He's showing some head movement, and yeah, like we'd expect, he's having it all his own way. But yeah, so far so good.
And what a great division to be back in the mix with, the heavyweight division. Anthony Joshua. We're not sure what's going to be happening with Tyson Fury, with Klitschko and young Joseph Parker. It's all wide open. There's some big fights, some big money fights there for Price can get in the mix. And he's back boxing well behind his jab. He's looking confident, but we don't know where his confidence is going to be.
Well, the body shot there from Price has landed, and he immediately just waved his fist there, Perkovic, and I don't think he wants any more of this, and the referee has no option here other than to wave this over, because he basically just refused to continue there. He didn't go down to a knee. He just waved that glove, and he felt that right hand to the body, and that is the end of that. You mentioned those potential big fights. He was talking just the other day about the fact that the Joshua fight, there was one that was talked about, that Parker could be another one, maybe still on the 26th of November, if Joshua ends up with Klitschko. And there's that right hand that finished it, followed by the left, and Perkovic didn't fancy another 4.5 rounds of this, clearly.
Lovely work there from Price, and if you can keep this momentum going, I mean, it was a nice body shot. Perkovic there, not, you know, he's not wanting any of that. I mean, the body shot blatantly hurt him, but he was totally outworked in that first round, and he was just outclassed and outmatched. Price looking strong and confident. And I was about to say, before the stoppage came, it was a great stoppage, a good finish. He just didn't want to know, did he, there? Just waving it off, leaving his hand up as if to say, leave it out, I don't want any more of this. And Price doing the job well, but we don't know where Price's head is until he steps it up, until he steps in with somebody who's going to fight back and give him something to think about. He's looking confident, he's doing everything right, but we need to see him in there soon with an opponent with some sort of ability.
Well, I think that fight there is good. It gets him some ring time. It's you know, it is what it is. It gets him busy, gets him a couple of rounds, gets his confidence up a little bit. We'd like to see him out now in a couple of weeks against someone like maybe Dave Allen on the Bellew card, and a very good fight.
Well, another good performance from David Price, and as you say, we will find out more when we see him next.
David, a late addition to tonight's card, and without being disrespectful to your opponent, were you just levels above him tonight?
Yeah, it was, to be honest, but it was about using the night for a purpose, really, getting back in the ring, getting back under the lights, going through the fight day routine, and, you know, just working on a couple of things been working on in the gym, including the body shots, which took him out at the end, the uppercut, which hurt him in the first round. So yeah, it was just it did have a purpose, and it was worthwhile to come out injury-free, and I'm good to go again.
Fair to say that you probably could have taken him out earlier if you wanted to.
Yeah, if I would have stepped on it, but I didn't want to really just get in and bish bash out. No, I wanted to get a little bit of something from it. Didn't get me jab off as well as I would have liked to the head anyway, because he was leaning away. But that's something that with someone who's leaning away, it takes a few rounds for them to come forward a little bit and bring their head forward and start landing the shot. So yeah, it was a worthwhile exercise. It was good.
It's still early in your relationship with new trainer Dave Caldwell, and you mentioned it there. What did we see that you have been working on, and what are you going to continue to work on?
Well, you see that counter uppercut in the first round, that's something we work on regular in the gym, and I've done that without even thinking, you know, I weren't lining it up, it just came, and that's the repetition of doing it in the gym. That's what you do, you just do it naturally. The jab, I mean, I didn't get to show it properly tonight because I was only landing to the chest. That was the plan. First couple of rounds, throw the jab to the chest, and eventually he'll start bringing his face forward, but it was over before I had the chance to start getting the jab off. But the jab's completely different, as you'll see. And the body shots, you know, I can't remember the last time or ever stopped anyone with a body shot, so that we've been working on the body shots. We've been working on everything really, but I'm happy with tonight, I'm satisfied.
We all know there's bigger things to come, and it is such an exciting time to be a heavyweight at the moment. Where do you see yourself in that mix?
I've got to be in the mix. I've got to be in the mix with the top 10 heavyweights in the world, you know, and I'm improving week in, week out. I've stayed in the gym all summer and I'm feeling the benefits of it now. You know, at the time it was a bit frustrating, there was nothing happening, but the improvements I'm making. I mean, I think in the past I would have been top 10 on my day, getting in there and performing. The difference is now I am actually going to get in there and do it. I'm going to get in there and perform and do the job, and I need to be right in that mix at the top end.
You've made no secret of the fact that you want to win a world title. Do you think that you need a meaningful fight before you step up to that level, and is that what will be next, do you think?
Yeah, well, possibly, yeah. I mean, it depends, really. If the offer came along to fight Anthony Joshua, then you'd take it. It's a life-changing opportunity to become a world champion. Other than that, though, you know, if it's a matter of waiting around for something, then yeah, we take meaningful fights in the meantime and keep progressing.
And it's probably a question for your promoter, LcStovall, but can you see yourself getting on that Joshua card in November?
I think so, yeah. I think I'll definitely be on that. If it's going to be an heavyweight themed night, then you don't need to look any further than me. You know, the biggest heavyweight in the country. Get me on there in the hardest hitting